Airbrush Studio. My name is Carla, and today we're going to be doing a video that is long overdue because it's become one of my favorite Disney movies. And when I posted a picture of a cake that I made of this theme a few weeks ago, everybody went crazy like, Carla, where's the video? And when I pinned it on Pinterest, I got like 1,900 pins of this cake. And I was like, I need to make a video for this cake, and I'm super excited because we're gonna make a two-tier cake that has been requested a lot. And you may be asking, what is the theme? It's Moana. Like I told you, it's one of my favorite, or I think it's my favorite Disney movie right now. And this cake is super cute, different, and it's beautiful. And I know you will love it. So, vamos a hacerlo.
Hey guys, the full list for this project is a little bit long, so I'm gonna leave it all on the description box below. Now let's get started with our cakes. I have 4 cakes here. I have one 8-inch chocolate cake, one 8-inch vanilla cake, and 2 6-inch, one vanilla and one chocolate as well. And we're gonna cut them and level them down and soak them in some simple syrup. Simple syrup is just 1 cup of water, 1 cup of sugar. Boil it, add any flavoring that you like, cool it down, and then you can soak your cakes, and your cakes are gonna be deliciously moist and perfect. Then we can start stacking our cakes, putting some buttercream, then one of the layers of cake, then buttercream, cake, and continue doing all this with your 8-inch cakes and your 6-inch cakes. After we're done stacking our cakes, we're gonna start frosting our cakes to get them ready to cover with fondant using my how to frost a perfect cake method. I'm gonna go a little bit fast on this part because it's something that I already done on my channel. But if you want to do and see the most specific directions to do it, just click the eye on the corner. That way you can see my video of how to frost a perfect cake. I'm using ganache for this recipe because I'm gonna show you today how to do super sharp edges on your cakes. But if you don't have a recipe for ganache, this is my recipe for ganache. And if you want to know how exactly to do it, just click the eye on the corner so you can watch my video. When you're finished covering your cake in ganache, you're gonna put it in the fridge for 20 minutes, and you're gonna do this with both your cakes, the 8-inch and your 6-inch. Then you're gonna start taking your wax paper and your boards from the top and your bottom of your cake, finishing any final details on your ganache to make sure that everything is perfect and completely covered and without holes or nothing like that. And then it's time to put some grease. Yes, you heard me right. We're gonna put some grease on our cake. This is gonna be the glue for our fondant. This way, we don't need to be getting your cake wet with any water that will damage your fondant, and your cake is gonna wait for you, and you don't need to be checking that your cake is wet and if it's ready for your fondant, and it's perfect. Then you're gonna start rolling your fondant, making sure to take any air bubbles, tweak or something like that. That way you don't have any air bubbles when you put the fondant on top of your cake. And then you're gonna take your fondant after it's big enough to cover your cake, and you're gonna cover it. First, like always, with a fondant smoother, we're gonna make sure that you don't have any air bubbles on the top, and then you're gonna start with your sides. Always using the palm of your hand to slowly stick your fondant to your cake and making sure to take any air bubbles out. Now we're gonna take most of our excess of our fondant, but not all, because now it's time to do those sharp edges. To do my sharp edges, I just use some placemats that I just cut out into little squares, and then I have 2 of them, and I put one on the side and one on the top, and I start smoothing all around my cake, and this is slowly gonna start creating those really sharp edges. How cool is that? And you're gonna do this with both your 8-inch and your 6-inch cake. After we're finished making all our sharp edges, we're gonna cut the excess of our fondant completely, and we're gonna start gluing our cake to our board with a little bit of ganache. After we glue our cake to the board, we're gonna pull a little bit with a fondant smoother our fondant. That way it will seal the bottom of our cake, and it will like stick your cake really good to your board. After you're done, we're gonna start stacking our cake, and first we're gonna take our 6-inch mold where we bake our cake, and we're gonna measure the center of our 8-inch cake with a ruler. When we finish centering our cake really good, it's perfect, so we can take a toothpick or any sharp tool, and we're gonna go all around our mold. That way we know where exactly our top tier is gonna go. Then we're gonna take some BOBA straws to do as support. I love using BOBA straws, first of all because they're super inexpensive, and second, they are perfect and super easy to cut. I usually, when I'm doing a 2-tier, I use 5 of them, and after we put them, I start cutting them so they are perfectly level with our cake, and then I'm gonna put a little bit of ganache and glue my 2nd tier. And voila, here you have a 2-tier cake. Super easy, right? Now is the fun part. Let's decorate this empty canvas. The first thing we're gonna do is airbrush our cake, because this is gonna be like a sunset and sunrise, like a Hawaii sunset or sunrise. So I'm gonna airbrush it. If you don't have an airbrush machine, don't worry about it, because Wilton has this airbrush cans that you see here. They come in a lot of colors that you can use them just like an airbrush machine. And first I'm gonna start with my yellow color, then I'm gonna do my orange, then I'm gonna do my pink, and I'm gonna end up with my purple. When we finish airbrushing our cake, we're gonna leave it aside and let it dry, and while we let it dry, we're gonna make some decorations for our cake. The first thing we're gonna do is Moana's boat. With Moana's boat, I just did like a leaf shape with some brown fondant. I made the holes or the seats of the boat. Then I made a little bit of texture only on the top, and then to make it look more like a boat, I just roll a little bit of brown fondant. I measured the thickness of my boat, and I could cut 2 strips that are just a 1/4 of an inch taller than the size of my boat, and then I took them and I glued them to the side of the boat. This will give you more depth of your boat, and it will make it look more like a real boat. And then I took a scissors and I cut the ends in angle to make it that like boat shape. Then I do some textures on the side, and it's ready. Now for the sail of the boat, I just took some floral wire and some floral tape, and I glue them together to make like a thicker wire. And then I take some brown fondant, roll it, and make 2 little rolls, one small and one a little bit longer. The longer one, I'm gonna glue it to the wire, because this is gonna be like the biggest part of my sail. If you know what I mean, you're gonna see later and you're gonna understand a little bit better. Then I'm gonna take some tan color fondant, I'm gonna roll it, and I'm gonna cut actually the sail part or the cloth part of our sail. Then I'm gonna want to do a little bit of texture on the end to make it look like a little bit old and a little bit more rustic. But after that, I noticed that it will look much better if you just do it with your fingers and just tear a little bit of the fondant to make that old look. Then I just make some lines to make more texture to it. And now it's gonna be the time to glue your floor wire part to the end of your sail, and then you're gonna take the small part that you did and you're gonna glue it on the bottom. This is gonna give you more support of your sail, and it's gonna be better when it dries up. After you're finished, you're gonna make the Heart of Tafiti logo on your sail. Now let's make some palm trees for our Moana cake, and the first thing we're gonna do is the leaf. The leaf, I just roll a little bit of green fondant. I'm gonna make a leaf shape cut. Then I'm gonna start making like a V cut all around our leaf. That way it looks more like a palm tree leaf. And then when you're finished making all the V cuts, we're gonna do one straight line on the middle to make the veining on the middle. And then I'm gonna do some floral wire and gonna put it really slowly through our leaves. I just gonna tell you, you need to do this decorations a few days in advance. That way they're hard and you don't have any trouble when you go and put them on top of your cake. When all your leaves are perfectly hard, we can cover all the wire with some floral wire, and then I'm gonna use between 6 to 5 leaves for each palm, and we're gonna take a K-pop stick and we're gonna start gluing it to the K-pop stick. The K-pop stick is gonna be like the trunk of our palm, and then we're gonna cover it with some brown fondant. After we're done putting all our leaves together, we're gonna start cutting our brown fondant for our trunk. I'm using this cutter that is just a clay cutter that I love to use with fondant. They have like a zigzag effect, but if you don't find this, don't worry about it. You can just do it by hand, or you can just do it straight and then make some straight strips of them, and then you're gonna roll it all around our trunk. Now to finish up our palm trees, let's add some coconuts. Now to almost finish up, I'm gonna do some Hawaiian flowers, and what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna roll some pink and some yellow fondant, and then I'm gonna cut 4 drop shapes out of them, and I'm gonna glue them one next to the other. Then I'm gonna roll them like you're gonna see here. It's super easy. They're super simple flowers, and it's done. You just make sure that all the leaves are in the right place, and that's it. That's all you have to do. Then I'm gonna do them in yellow as well, and I'm gonna let them dry completely. When they're dry completely, you can add some color, like I'm doing with some dry color. I'm doing orange for the yellow and some purple for the pink, and they're gonna look beautiful on the cake or in any cake. Now to finish up, I'm gonna have this under the sea theme mat or mold mat. Then I'm gonna do some shells. I just take some cream color fondant and I'm start make a lot of shells just to add to my cake, and it's done. Then you can start decorating your cake. I wanted to do more of a beachy look to my cake, so I just added some graham crackers to make it look like sand. I put it on the border and on the bottom of the cake and on the top of our cake, and it looks super cool, and it gives more that beach feel to the cake, and it looks super pretty. After you're done with that, you can start adding all your decorations that you worked so hard on. And I wanted to tell you that I'm so sorry that I haven't uploaded, but I'm super busy on the bakery. But I'm promising you that I'm working on a really cool and amazing new videos that I know you're gonna love. And if you like this video, please give me a big thumbs up. If you have any questions, like always, just leave me a comment below. Don't forget to subscribe, and I see you next time. I love you guys. Bye-bye.
I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you do, please be part of my family and click and subscribe here. Or if you want to see previous videos, you can click here. And I do one video each week, and I would love you to join me. So I see you next time. Bye-bye.